So, you've made something fun out of cardboard, but now you want to make it look cool and beautiful. Well, with a little texture paper and white glue, I will show you how. Hello there, my friends. My name is Selrock. This is a very simple technique that I've shown before but wanted to delve deeper into for a little while. Basically, you've made something out of cardboard. Now you want to make it look really cool. So take a wet paintbrush, put it in some white PVA, school glue, whatever it is that you call it. Swirl it around a little bit so that the glue's watered down, and paint it on top of whatever you've made. Then take a sheet of texture paper and press it onto it. Then, take some more glue and paint another layer on top. Before long, you will notice some texture starting to appear. And the big thing about this is that the kind of textures you get is more or less a result of what you're putting the texture paper on top of. So in this first example, I made some ruined stone walls. I paint the texture paper on top of it, stipple it and move it around until I'm happy. And then we get a result that looks a lot like ruined stone. As it gets saturated in the glue and water mixture, you'll find that you can almost sort of sculpt the texture paper as well, using your brush as a sculpting tool. A bigger, stiffer brush can help things go faster as well if you're doing a lot of pieces or a big piece. And the big thing here is we're trying to transform the cardboard. So if you have any little pieces that need a bit of extra paper, extra glue, just give them as much as they need until you're happy with how it looks. And once they've dried, you can already see there is a lot of potential with this technique for transforming your cardboard creations into something more. And while it only gets better when you add other details like dirt to the base and a coat of black primer, you really come alive in the next step with an off-white dry brush. I wanted to release this video as a quick follow-up to my cardboard bricks and stones video, where I try to show that you don't need foam to make cool things. The first part of that was the bricks and stones themselves to build the structure. The second part is the texture paper that brings them to life. As you can see, it can work on big pieces as well as little pieces. The only limit is your imagination, really. And while it can feel a bit tedious with bigger pieces, the results you get are well worth it. One thing I like about making things out of cardboard is that they tend to be pretty solid, pretty durable. And I can tell you, after a coat of this texture paper and glue mixture, they become extremely strong, very solid. So there's two examples using my cardboard bricks and stones, but don't limit yourself to those kinds of projects. Texture paper has so many uses. Here I am using it for the wattle and daub plaster texture for one of my ruined fantasy buildings. This one was made with Mordheim in mind, but works for all of my favorite games. Aside from individual bricks, texture paper is also wonderful for representing more or less solid stone structures, like this city riser platform that I've also made for Mordheim. And just like in the other applications, you paint your surface with a bit of watered down glue, press your texture paper on, and then paint another layer of glue over the top. Of course, texture paper can be used for more than just ruins, buildings, walls, stones, and bricks. In my cardboard trees video, I showed how I used it to make this amazing bark-like texture for this spooky looking tree. As we take a look at the results of our projects, with the texture paper applied, with them primed and dry brushed and a little bit of paint, I wanted to talk a bit about my process and why the texture paper is such a great part of it. If you've seen a few of my videos, you may have noticed that I have a 3-step process to making pretty much anything. Step 1, build. Step 2, detail. And step 3, paint. Each step draws heavily from the one that came before it. In the build stage, we're trying to make it easy for our details to shine through and become the star of the show. In the paint stage, our details that we put so much work into make it very easy to paint our projects to a very nice looking level, even for a complete amateur painter like me. And then after the paint stage, we have a very cool model or piece of terrain to put on a shelf, look at, decorate your home with, and hopefully play with someday with friends and family and loved ones. I'm still working on that stage myself. Texture paper is such a wonderful addition to my terrain techniques because of how what you build determines how your texture turns out. If you want a ruined building, you're going to get a wonderful ruined building texture. If you want tree bark, you're going to get amazing tree bark texture. If you want stones, bricks, concrete, you name it, the texture paper will do the work for you if you put in the work in the build. Another reason texture paper is a wonderful addition to my terrain techniques is its accessibility. The overall philosophy of this YouTube channel is I want to make things that anyone, anywhere can make. Because I was in that position once. I couldn't afford any kind of fancy materials. I could barely afford dedicated tools. But if you have any kind of tissuey paper, tissues, toilet paper, paper towels, glue, you can make amazing things just like this. The type of paper you use does not matter. The type of glue you use does not matter. The type of paintbrushes, the type of dirt, none of these things matter. What matters is if you have inspiration, if you have desire to build something cool, to build something beautiful, to build something fun to play with, to share with your friends. And no one starts with all of those things. Maybe you have a desire, but you have no inspiration. Well, that's what YouTube videos like this one are for. Facebook groups for games and terrain making, forums, Instagram, all of those can be a great source of inspiration. They've been a source of inspiration for me for many of the things you've seen me make. When I was young, I had desire and inspiration, but I didn't have the knowledge of what to do. And so that's who these videos are for. You want to make something cool, you're inspired to make something cool, but how do I do that? Well, my friends, this is how. With terrain techniques like cardboard bases, wood texture cardstock, cardboard bricks and stones, and texture paper. Thank you for watching, my friends. Until next time.